We continue to talk about how to prevent foot injuries if you're going to participate in the Cooper River Bridge Run and Walk coming up soon. And continuing this conversation with us is Dr. Adam Brown, a board-certified podiatrist. We have gone over the common injuries that often happens after the bridge run. We've talked about the proper footwear and socks to try and help prevent injuries. But then the other part of all of this to support prevention is the proper training. So for folks who are still planning on participating in the bridge run, whether they're a walker or a runner, what is some good doctor-recommended advice as to what they should do? Because we're just days away.
Right. You know, the first thing is to not rush your training. If you feel like you're right at the edge, you have a week left, you can't just get out there every day and increase your mileage each day. Most people, I recommend running every other day. I really don't care for back-to-back days too much, especially as you're training up towards a certain goal. So that would be number one. Number two is to listen to your body. If you get up, and again, a lot, like we talked about earlier, a lot of times during the run, things don't bother you, they don't hurt. But if you get up the next morning, things are starting to break down a little bit. It's your body telling you you're going too fast, you're doing too much distance. And for that, I usually have people back off a little bit, or we even add a little walking in with the running. People shouldn't be, if they're getting towards the end training time, it's okay to walk for 5 minutes and jog for 5 and walk for 5. That definitely takes a lot less toll on your body and still may allow you to do the bridge run, without so much breaking down.
Well, who at home there are folks right now who have not signed up for the bridge run, but they've been thinking about it and they might really want to do it. Who is ready to train in this short amount of time to participate, and who really shouldn't?
Probably anyone that walks on a regular basis, because there's also a walk with it. So like I said, if you have to mix walking in with the running, but for the most part, if you have a week left or so, before the run, hopefully you have trained up to 3 miles, 4 miles, somewhere in that range. For that, you'll probably be okay doing the 6. You'll probably be pretty sore the next day. But if you haven't trained at all and you got 1 week left, probably not a good idea to try the run. The walk, however, takes place just after the run, and that's also a good option to enjoy the day. Right.
And what about for people who say, I don't want to get caught up in the bridge run, but I would like to find a way to really get on my feet and get out there? What would you recommend as a podiatrist and also an avid runner?
Sure. Walking's the first thing. I mean, if you're starting from scratch, if you're really not, and I don't care if you're in your 50s, your 60s, you feel like you're totally out of shape, your body is an incredible vehicle that can adjust to almost anything you do to it. So what I do for most people who are basically, I'm taken off the couch or I see them in the office, and what I see mostly is they just starting a workout program, an exercise program, they want to get healthy, and they just overdo it. Their feet start to hurt them, everything starts to hurt them, and they don't realize that they're just doing too much too soon. And so what I usually start with people, if they're just getting off the couch for the first time, a 5-minute walk, that's it. And every other day you do that for like 2 weeks. If you can do that and there's no problems after that, then you add 2 or 3 minutes to it, and you do 8 minutes, for a week or two, and just keep adding 2 or 3 minutes to that walk. Until you can get up to, probably 30 minutes. If you can do 30 minutes every other day, from that point, you probably can start the running. You can start mixing some running in, where again, you still may have your walk for 30 minutes, but during that, you may jog for 1 minute, 2 or 3 times during the walk, and over time you just increase that amount of running.
And that's okay, because it is all about baby steps.
Sure.
Now, real quickly before we wrap up, what type of pain should be examined by a podiatrist that should not be ignored?
After a bridge run, most people are going to be sore. You're going to have some soreness again in your arches and your heels and other parts. If the soreness doesn't gradually decrease, probably over a 3 to 4 day period. So if you get 1 week out after the bridge run and you're still having trouble and things are not getting better, definitely a time to go see somebody. So it's easier to take care of it at the beginning than it is to let it linger for a couple of weeks.
Very true. Well, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Brown, and I wish you all the best in the bridge run.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And stay with us when we come back. Details on how to get more information about foot injury prevention. Stay with us. If you want to learn more about preventing foot injuries and treatments, call our HealthBeat hotline. The number is 724-2670, or go online to rsfh.com. Thanks for watching HealthBeat, your source for health and wellness information exclusively on Comcast C2.